Hello, 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 hello. YouTube, Facebook. YouTube, I always appreciate the comments, the interaction, the inquiring how to get in contact with me. So it's a Friday, but I'm doing what I do, and doing what I love, freeing people financially. So I probably will go live in a couple of minutes when I get in my vehicle, right? A couple of minutes from now. But I'm reading on this court case, and I want to just drop a very quick video to you, because I know most people don't understand, right, how you can legally not pay debt collectors, right, and the things that they have to do legally. So I have this in front of me on my laptop, and I'm just going to share it with you so you can see it for yourself in writing. This is not a scam. It's not a loophole. It's the law, right? We're celebrating Juneteenth, and it's a celebration of the slaves in Texas, right, that were free, but they did not know they were free, right? They still thought, even when the law was passed, that they were slaves or enslaved. And so the people, the Northerners, came down from the North and gave them the information, gave them the proclamation, gave them the knowledge. Thank you for the digital love. That, hey, you all are free. You all are free. The law set you free, right? And you're still acting under slavery. And so I'm going to show you this in black and white, how the law sets you free from paying collectors. Now, why most people don't know this? Because a lot of people don't take the time to do what I'm doing, which is reading, researching. They may not have the time. They may not be interested. But if it's something that can save me hundreds and thousands of dollars, I think it would interest me. Why is that? Because most of America is living paycheck to paycheck, right? 1 out of 4 Americans don't have $400 for an emergency. And then I've read, I forgot the stats, but most Americans right now are not going to their regular doctor's visits because they can't afford to pay the doctor's appointment. So there's a lot of people in medical bill collection debt. So let me flip this screen. This is a court case. It was 1993. And it states, the statute, right, it's the statute I've been talking to you all about, requires that the debt collector obtain the verification of debt, and mail it to the consumer, which is you, because of the principal purposes of this section. The section it's talking about is the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. Right here you see this is in response to your verification of the debt. And so it states clearly that a debt collector must, upon the request of you, the consumer. Now, if you don't request this, you stay enslaved. You don't know about this, right? And this is why people pay hundreds and thousands of dollars to debt collectors. You don't know what you don't know. Just like Juneteenth. You can be free. You can have the law on your side to save yourself hundreds of thousands of dollars. But if you don't know it, you're going to be enslaved to debt collectors and paying debt. So the reason why every debt collector that contacts you, some people have been misidentified by the debt collector or who dispute the amount of the debt. It is important that the verification, number one, of the identity of the consumer, of the amount of the debt be obtained directly from the creditor. This is what they're supposed to get from the original company that you did services with. They have to obtain this information directly from the creditor. Notice the language. It states here that creditor and debt collector are two different people. Mere itemization of what the debt collector has already has does not accomplish this purpose. So what does this mean? Them sending you a form of itemization, right? I just got a text. Is not verification by the law. They cannot send you some type of itemization of a bill in the mail, and especially if it's a medical bill, that's against the law. For this purpose, as stated above, the statute, which is the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, requires, now we use the terminology, debt collector, not creditor. Not the creditor, see, it says this, to mail the verification to you, the consumer. This came from an attorney, Division of Credit Practices. This was a legal court case that I'm reading. Right? So, this is how, and let me go up. This was a court case, February 9, 1993. This is the court that responded. Credit Bureaus Incorporated. It's the Federal Trade Commission. This was in response to a matter. You asked whether a collection agency for a medical provider will fulfill the requirements of the section if it produces an itemized statement of services rendered to a patient on its own computer from information provided by medical institution, right? In response to a request for a verification of that. Hello, Sharon. Okay, I just got a phone call. But, so people, this is not verification by the law, by the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. Them, when you say, well, I need verification, number one, they must identify who you are through the original creditor. So, debt collectors are trying to keep you on the phone at least 60 seconds because they're trying to identify you. They're not 100% sure that this is you because they are not allowed to have all of your information, your full social, to identify you are who they're trying to collect the debt from. A creditor cannot provide that information, right? It's a breach of privacy to them. So they don't have all the information, so they'll be trying to call you, harass you, keep you on the phone 60 seconds to try to verify that this is you, this is the correct person phone number that I'm calling, and this is your address. Never verify with a debt collector over the phone. Never tell them I'll pay you when I get the money. Never say yes when they call, say, may I speak to... a lot of time what they'll do when you answer the phone to debt collector, they're waiting on you. You say hello, they'll pause and they'll be quiet. If you say hello go again, then they'll respond that, hi, this is such and such. I'm calling for Midland Funding, Collection Services, or whatever. You never expose to them your name. You never give them your name. Say, okay, may I ask who's calling? What is the nature of this call? Is this Ms. DeLoach? May I ask who's calling? I don't give my name or information to people that I don't know, I'm not familiar with. Well, we have this address on file for you. This is your correct address. Sir, I do not provide that information or ma'am to people I'm not familiar with. Well, there's some information concerning collecting a debt we need to mail to you. We need to verify that this is your address. If you have any information that you need to mail to me, you can mail it on the address on file. I'm at work right now. Thank you. Have a great day. End the phone call. Don't tell them, yes, this is LaTanya DeLoach. Yes, this is my home address. No. All verification should be done on their end, right? Then, if they do submit you a letter in the mail, you have 30 days to protect your rights by law. You don't put the letter to the side because you don't have the money. You don't want to ignore it. It's going to cost you more money by doing it. Ignorance is not an excuse. The only way to be free people is to know the law, right? And to seek out the services of people that can give you the proclamation, the announcement that you are free like me. I'm also doing credit church on Sundays, right? One of my passions is I like for Christians to live out their full life. So let me know what time, Central Standard Time would be a good time. 7, 8 o'clock, or 9 o'clock in the comment section to do credit church. Because God's wishes for us is that we be rich, and he adds no sorrow with it. But a lot of Christians are not rich, and surely they have plenty of sorrow because they're living paycheck to paycheck, and they're under such financial stress and duress. So this is how I make debt collectors go away quickly, by knowing and stating the law. Also, they cannot print you out an itemization of billing statements and say this is what you owe. They must have that agreement in writing and contract that, number one, that you agree to pay for these services, and number two, they must have the itemization. Now, especially if it's a medical collection, they must have the notarized document with your wet signature, not a copy, not an itemized, not a printout of a screen and then if they provide a printout and it's medical services, they have just violated the HIPAA Act of 1996. Health, Insurance, Accountability, Portability Act, which protects your medical rights, that no one can sell your medical information because that's a breach of privacy. So, if you think that it's a scam, that you can pay $0 in debt collectors, if you don't know the law, like Juneteenth, you don't know you're free, then that's going to cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, the scam is if you think I'm going to represent you and exercise the law for you, and you pay me nothing, because I don't work for free. I don't believe in free. And it's a free mentality. See, you got to pay one way. Either you pay for what you don't know and you pay someone that do know, or you're going to pay for not knowing, and you're going to pay double the amount when you pay that debt collector who does not have all this information in place that they're supposed to have in place to collect the debt from you. So either you're going to pay the debt collector, especially if you get summons or subpoena to court. Thank you for the digital love. Either you're going to pay that debt collector the full amount, even though they don't have all their legal documentations in place that I mentioned earlier in this video, or you're going to pay me a portion to exercise this law for you, because I know the law and I know the rights, and I know they never have these documents in place, and I know that they're not exercising legally, and I can save you 70% of a debt. Or you can ignore my videos, ignore the message, and you see it in writing, and you can find yourself in stress and duress and paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to debt collectors. Hey, the choice is yours. I choose to be free. Happy Juneteenth. I hope this message of credit and cash flow frees you too, just like the slaves were freed in Texas, and they didn't know, but when they got the word from the messengers up north, right, they celebrated and acted upon their freedom. So, hey, I'm signing off. That's my credit and cash flow tip for today. And, hey, I might go live tonight, but I have a lot of credit to do. How are you? You would go back and look at I'm doing fine. It's easy. What state are you from? I thank you for tuning in. You all make sure you hit like and hit share. Go back, because I had my laptop open and I showed the Fair Debt Collection Practices Law from a court case that put in black and white what every debt collector is supposed to have in place before they can collect a dime from you. It'll save you hundreds and thousands of dollars to look back and watch this video. Nashville, Tennessee. All right, so hey, let me travel to Nashville. Thank you for the digital love, and do a credit and cash flow conference. Right, take my horse to Old Town Road in Nashville. Let's go to Nashville. I love, I do so many. I did a dispute from Detroit, Michigan, Connecticut, New Jersey. States I never visited, but California, clients all over 50 states. And I would love to travel there one day, and to talk to a group of people, if my people can set people up and set the conference up to free people. So, hey, that's my goals. That's why I want to get on the road and share this message. And I put a face with a video, right? Ohio, Mr. Holloway, do you have a conference space, and do you have at least 15 or more people? Let me know. I have my travel rewards credit cards, right? So that when I use those travel rewards cards, I can almost travel the world for my credit at little to no cost. See, that's the power of credit, right? It's one thing to charge a trip. I don't see how people live without credit cards. Honestly, I'm kind of going off my top. How do you live without credit cards? You can't you can't rent a vehicle without credit cards. You can't check into a hotel. You really can't shop, right? So it's a way to get rich without cutting up your credit cards. I know Dave Ramsey, one of the great financial gurus, millionaire. His system just didn't work for me, right? His system just didn't work for me. Because right now, like in Mississippi, there's 49 Fred's retail stores closing. 17 of those stores, Mr. Holloway, are closing from Mississippi out of the 49 nationwide. So the old advice is get a second job that Mr. Ramsey advocates. Where are you going to find second jobs now? The second jobs are closing. There are no second jobs. You can't budget broke. And so what do you do now for financial freedom? What do you do now to stop living for paycheck to paycheck? Since that advice is not the working now, 2019. Well, what you do, yes, power. You have to be smart about using. You do. What you do is you cut back on the 40% of your paycheck that you're paying the government in taxes. So what I mean by that, if you're making $90,000 a year, you're bringing home about $70,000 or $72,000, right? You're losing 40% of your paycheck in taxes. We have all type of taxes. We have property taxes. We have just homes. It's all types of taxes. But your payroll taxes is the number one tax that you can control. So a lot of people say, well, you got to budget your way out of this. But the truth be told, you can cut back on your coffee, right? That'll help a little bit, but it won't help you the help that you need. What if knowing how to save 40% of your paycheck so you can bring, it's called income shifting, so you can bring an additional $200 to $500 more out of your paycheck, which is more productive for you financially. Cutting back on that Starbucks coffee that's going to save you $30 or $100 a month, or learning how to keep more of your paycheck by reducing 20% of your taxes, which is your biggest budget cut that you need to learn how to do, and get more money and bring home $200 to $500 or more a month. Even some people have brought home as much as $1,000 because they're six-figure income earners. So credit is just like anything else in life. If you use it wisely, it reaps great rewards for you, right? Like a gun. If you use it in the correct way, it protects you, right? If you use it just immaturely, you can commit suicide. And it can, so you can have success with a gun and protecting you, or it can be suicidal. The same thing with credit cards. But see, I have a lot of people who want to start business or need to expand their businesses or starting businesses or want to invest. Even Facebook have a new global coin coming out, cryptocurrency. They want to use the little money that they have or that they're keeping to make their money, make more money. They want to send their money out and tell their money to come back and bring some friends with you. I want to send my $10 bill out or send my $100 bill out and tell my $100 bill, when you come back to me, bring about 10 more $100 of your friends with you, right? That's what people's mindset is going. They're tired of living paycheck to paycheck. They're tired of struggling. They're tired of not being able to take a little portion of their paycheck just to get a cup of Starbucks coffee. Every now and then, you want a little of your paycheck to enjoy the little things in life. They're tired of being broke as soon as they come off a vacation. They want to plan. See, a lot of times, the reason why people are broke, and I didn't mean to go here, and budget don't work, is because they wait last minute to plan vacations, which is more expensive. They don't want to plan their vacations ahead of time. Okay, by mortgage. Okay. To save, if you plan your vacation now for next year, you'll save hundreds of thousands of dollars. And like for me, I went out to eat. I just want to go out. You know, I don't cook a lot. And I went to Applebee's and I thought, man, I spent $27. Now, it was just me. I put $27 at Applebee's, including a tip. But I was like, I could have went to my deli drive-through and spent $10 or $12. That would have saved me half the bill, and I would have got the same meal. See, it's things like that with budgeting you do need to look at. And my good friend guy, my friend here on Facebook, I'm going to tag him in this. He told me, he said, you know, Coach, you don't teach about budgeting. You teach more advanced things. And I'm answering the question about the mortgage, and I'm sign off. I do. And that's probably because I'm a basketball coach. See, when you are a basketball coach, let me sit up. I can't just teach the fundamentals, right? Because everybody that comes to me are on different levels, skill set wise, right? And if I just teach the fundamentals, then the players that have the ability to perform on elite skills level or higher levels, then they're going to miss out. So I have to teach somewhere in between. So, yeah, I got some people that need to learn how to budget first. They need to learn how to cut back and save more. But the very first thing I have is people that need to learn how to save 40% more of their paycheck. What's going to help you more? I need people to grasp that if you get your credit score fixed, you can stop paying these what they call these lenders that's giving you loans, loan sharks at 26% interest rate, 20% interest rate. What is a budget going to do for you when you're paying a vehicle or you're paying a loan at 20 or 15% or 26% interest rate? And we talk, you know, my Allen Iverson, we're talking about practice. We're talking about a budget. We're talking about cutting back on, that's probably why people overspend in their alcohol on the weekend, because you're paying 26 to 25% interest rates on loans. You'll never be able to climb out of there if you don't get your credit straight, if you don't increase your credit score. When you say 40% of your paycheck, improve your credit, learn how to get out $1,000 of collection debt is what I do. Learn how to use credit cards to create cash flow and not to buy things. Thank you for the digital love. Not to go out here and buy things, and I said in one of my previous videos, thank you for the digital love. Thank you for the digital love. If you want to know if you are using your credit cards wisely, if you have a yard sale, everything that you swiped and purchased with your credit card, if you were to have a yard sale, how much could you sell it for? If you go out and buy a new couch, a sofa, furniture, a vacation with your credit card, how much is it worth? Vacation is worth the memories. Is worth, I guess, the relaxation. I'm not saying throw the baby out, but it's not worth the memories that if 30 days later when you come back, you're going to be depressed and oppressed about how you're going to pay for it now. I love the vacations I can pay for that either, number one, I'm getting a tax write-off as I'm going, which is what my W4 wealth training would allow you to do, right? And a lot of people try to say, what do you mean a tax write-off? See, when I go to the beach, I can write off a portion of my hotel expenses, my gas, my mileage, my food, my entertainment. Because at some point of that trip, I'm going to talk about business. I'm coming before you now in my home. I write off a portion of my internet, my light bill, all of that. That's the real secret to stop living paycheck to paycheck. Because I was going to pay for these things anyway. And so, no, you don't have to have a business. You have to, and I prefer if you came into this, and if you already have a business, see what rich people do, how their cash flow. How they cash flow is when they get money, their money goes into some type of business corporation, whether it's an LLC or a corporation, so they can get some type of tax write-off. Every dime that they earn. See, people that have side hustles, they don't do that. They get paid from their side hustle, and that money gets deposited directly into a personal checking account. Now you got to be taxed on that. Now you're losing much of the money that you make. See, if your paycheck is getting taxed at 40%, that means for every $100 that you make, you're only keeping $60 of that. And it's only $19.99. I have two businesses. One is I personally repair credit. I do not do it through a network marketing or MLM. And two, I teach these W-4 wealth and tax flow strategies for $19 one time, and then $34.95 a month to help people save more money out of their paycheck so they can have some real money to get out of this financial situation with. And then I take the stress out of people by executing these laws that debt collectors don't follow, and I save them thousands and thousands of dollars from paying these collections, right? And if you didn't see the beginning of the video, go back and watch the beginning, because I had the law up on my laptop. I'm doing credit, and I've read the law out for you so you can see it, because some people need to see that this is real, it's legit. Just like Juneteenth. You need to see it. You need someone to announce it to you, because you don't know. The law is not the law if you don't know how to exercise it. The law is not the law if you don't know how to execute it. So this last question, thank you for the digital love. What about mortgages? This is what I do with mortgages. It's called velocity banking. You can Google it on, you can search it on YouTube. There's so many different people that teach velocity banking. So I get your credit score high. You qualify for better credit cards. And with velocity banking, because we know that mortgages, they front load your mortgage with interest, right? And it's the same thing with people with repossessions. It's the same thing. They send you these letters in the mail, $1,000 for repossessions, collections, and you just put it to the side. But the law is on your side. People, I'm announcing it today. I'm giving you another Juneteenth announcement. You are free from this debt if you would take action. The only scam is when you see something in black and white that I'm proving to you, not just talking to you about, and you don't take action. That's the only scam. And so what happens with mortgages, if you're in a 15-year mortgage, the first 7.5 years is going to be front-loaded with interest-only payments. You're in a 30-year mortgage, the first 15 years is front-loaded with interest-only payments. So for every, like say, $100 that you're sending in, $50 of that is going towards the actual money that you borrow, and the other 50 is going towards interest, right? Doesn't even matter how low your interest rate is. Right now, the home, my interest is 3.75%, but it's still front loaded, right? It's still front loaded. So, what happens is, I give people credit up. They get credit cards. I call this turning the banks against each other. Your credit card can be a Chase, Capital One, Bank of America, right? So you take that OPM, others people money, from your credit card, and you call your mortgage company, and first you call your credit card company, say, hey, I got a 0% balance transfer. I want you to transfer $5,000 of the 0% into my bank account. They do that. Transfer directly. You're going to pay for $5,000. I forgot, but it may be $300 for that, to get that money. You get a 0% for at least a year, a year or even sometimes more, right? So it's going to be 12 to 15 months. So you have money at 0% interest. So you take that $5,000 and then you call your mortgage and say, hey, I want to pay $5,000 on the principal balance of my loan. In lump sum, it has to be lump sum. You can't just, I'm going to put an extra $100 a month towards my principal, or I'm going to make an extra payment a year towards the principal. Because the larger the amount towards the principal, the more thousands of dollars of interest that comes out. So when you do it in smaller triplets and it doesn't work, it's not effective. It does nothing to cut down those interest, right? So you do that, you recycle and you repeat. So then you set yourself a plan, because I just told you about the W-4 wealth, saving $200 to $1,000 out of your paycheck, or $500, depends on your income. You got the extra cash flow right there from your paycheck, from your job that you didn't know about. You take that $500 for 10 months, pay down that credit card again. You've been a good credit card payment. They gave you the money 0% interest free. So now you're paying $500 on that credit card. That $5,000 paid off. Boom, you call the credit card company again after 10 months. You rinse and repeat. Hey, I want another $5,000 balance transfer at 0%. You keep your credit score high. You call your mortgage company again. Boom, another $5,000 towards the principal of your mortgage. You do this for 5 years and any mortgage is paid off, saving you thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and years of dollars from your mortgage. If you do not believe me, if you don't believe me, and I'm telling you, we get so busy with life and working and just making sure we have the mortgage payment, we really don't take the time to do this. Open up your mortgage statement today. When you get home, it's going to show you, if you're paying $1,200, it's going to show you how much is going toward the principal, how much is going towards interest, and how much is going towards your homestead, your taxes. And then you have something on your mortgage called PMI, private mortgage insurance. I don't have PMI anymore because I paid my balance down low enough not to have that PMI insurance. So some of you all just need to call the mortgage company and say, hey, I don't want to have the PMI insurance anymore. What does the balance of my mortgage need to be paid down to erase that? That saves me like $150 of cash flow a month, right? And then this year, another strategy for paying out your mortgage early is for years, I had homeowners insurance through Travelers. Because my credit score was the 823 or is an 823, I call Progressive and say, hey, I want to get another quote. I've been with this company for years. I saved $1,000 a year, and had the exact same in my underwriting, the exact same coverage that I had with Travelers. I still had the $300,000 accidental, my flood insurance, everything lined up because I printed out my old premium to compare to the new one on the quote, and I saved $1,000 more. So that $1,000 more was an extra additional $100 a month. So now I'm saving $250 a month for my mortgage, or what my other payment used to be. Thank you, Miss Dean. But see, all of this started back. So I wasn't planning on being here that long. I just, we see a lot of memes on social media said, people give up the club life and, forget going to the clubs. They start a business on Friday night. But I actually do that. And I'm going to tell you all right now, I was married, 13 years or something like that. Since I've made these sacrifices and helping people with their finances and did what I have to do, one thing I do agree with Dave Ramsey. Thank you so much for the digital love. One thing I do agree with Dave Ramsey on this. He said, live like no one else, so later on you can live like no one else. You have to do that. That can't be a cliche. I today have 5 figures in my checking account, and I never had that the 13 years I was married. Never. We were not on the same page financially. You have to get your spouse, your significant other, you all need to be on the same page if you want some type of financial freedom. Hey, Malik, why you give me the trophy in the things up? You're going to have to. You got one person going east and you're going west. You won't ever. Now, you won't ever get there. You won't ever get there. If I could show you all my library, I read, I study. I have my television on just to have sound in here while I'm working, right? Because usually when I'm going live, it's just for therapy because I'm doing work, right? Because when people come to me, they are serious. They are tired of their financial situation. They want an answer. And I had a young female, her last name was Flowers because I remember giving her the emoji. And she told me, yeah, you have to be on the same page. If your spouse is not on the same page with you, he or she at least have to be willing to follow. Right? If they don't want to walk, directly in front of you or beside you, they're going to at least have to be able to sit down and have a conversation about the finances in the home and where you want to go. And you all going to have a monthly meetings if you're serious and you're married about improving your financial situation, right? Because life is so much more easier to handle if you have, like the Bible says in Ecclesiastes, money cureth all things. And it talks about things that make you happy. So, broke people say money don't make you happy. I never heard a rich person say that. And that scripture in that chapter in Ecclesiastes talking about wine makes you merry, laughter. And then it says, and then it includes money right in that category and said, but money answers all things. That means money will make you merry and happy too. And it'll solve some more of your other problems. It'll answer everything except the grace that God can give you. But God said, I can give you both. I come here so you can be rich. I want to make you rich, and I don't want to add sorrow. So with Jesus, you don't have to choose, right? So this is Credit Church on a Friday. Impromptu. I wasn't planning. I was going to sign off and leave, because I had something to do. But I wasn't planning on standing alone. But this how this work, people. Let me tell you something. I know, and like the preacher say, this is my 3rd closing, but you all give me 3, and I'm signing off. You should never be stressed out about credit card debt. Ever. If you're going to be stressed out about a debt, you should be more stressed out about student loans and credit cards. Why is that? Credit card debt can be put in bankruptcy. Credit card debts can be charged off for a loss for the company. And can be removed, charge-offs can be removed from your credit report. So now you probably won't be able to continue to do business with that bank anymore once they've written off your charge-off as bad debt. But I've looked at some credit reports. To me, they had too many charge-off, and I'm thinking, you're trying to abuse the system. You're not going to ever have good banking. And because they had charge-offs with some good companies like Amex, Barclays, Capital One. I even saw a Walmart charge-off. And I'm like, dude, you can get these charges off your credit report. The companies can write them off as bad debt. And if you got a good tax specialist, you won't even be taxed on that money too. But you're burning bridges, right? Because of a lot of these good creditors now, you won't be able to go back to them and get money from them again. So this just like when you're dating and you're the type of person who don't want to be committed in a relationship, and you meet some good men or you meet some good women and you're untrustworthy and you breach trust, after a while, after you run through so many, you're not going to find any more good women. Now you're going to be sitting after you got that bad relationship and said, man, maybe I should have treated those other, because that was a good woman. That was a good man. But I abused that relationship. It's the same thing with credit. Yeah, you cannot pay taxes on charge-offs. The company write it off as a loss. That's what Amazon, they look for write-offs because they don't want to pay taxes. See, everybody understands the importance of not paying taxes except employees. See, employees and business people think differently. If you're an employee, you don't even know that you're getting taxed 40% of your paycheck, every paycheck. You don't even understand that out of the $100 you made, you can keep $90 or $80 of that. But you understand you're only keeping $60 of that. And so everybody understands in the business world the importance of tax write-offs and deductions except the employees. Except employees, right? And so after a while, you run through these good cards and you got the queen of credit to remove these charge-offs and you got you a good tax specialist. You don't pay taxes, but then you look around and you see this good investment. And even though your credit report looks pretty, you go back to Amex, you go back to Barclays, you go back to Chase, and they say, no, you burnt us one time. We're not extending you any more credit. So be careful if you're using these strategies of charge-offs to run up credit cards, especially if you're not getting anything out of it, especially if you're not using that credit card to invest in real estate or something, to just buy stuff. And then you get it removed from your credit report and you find you're a good tax person and you're not taxed on that. But be careful, because now what relationships are you going to build after that? So, I help people out of sincerity that just didn't know any better. But then if you try to manipulate the game, right, I'll cut you off. You can't come to me 6-7 months later and you got 10 more charge out. Like, nah, I'm not the credit person for you. Go find somebody else. Go find somebody else. I don't play those games, because my whole thing is I help people revision their credit. After I've gotten you out, I do enough educational videos where, okay, now let's revision this. Let's use your credit card in a different way to make you money so your money can go out and bring some friends with them back to you, right? Let's use your credit cards to get you out of that mortgage. And for 30 and 15 years, we're going to get you out in we're going to get you out in 5 to 7 years using credit cards. You don't have to cut up your credit cards, right, to be rich or to create more cash flow. So that's it. You all make sure you hit like, you hit share. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to me. Subscribe to this channel. Thank you all for tuning in. And, I'm back to, I got some credit reports to read. And got some challenges to type up and to print out. So that's it. Thank you all for joining in, Queen of Credit. This is the Juneteenth of credit and cash flow. You can be free. I'm telling you the law. You can be free. You don't have to stress. But do something more with that 3-digit number than your credit score. Do something more with your credit card. Do something more than want to take a vacation because your friend took a vacation and you want to show them on social media that you can do what they do. You can live that lifestyle. And 30 days later, you have to face that bill in the mail. And those memories are not happy anymore. So go back and watch the first of this video. I showed you all the law straight from my laptop, straight from black and white, how and why my clients never pay collections, right? They never pay debt collection. Hey, I'm signing off. Happy Friday to you. Financial Free Friday. Tat is not, what do you mean tat is not important? I don't know what that means. I'm trying to hit the finish button, Miss Ainsley. Tat is not important. I don't know. Let me know what you mean by that. I hope you're not saying taxes is not important, because I just show people how important taxes are when it comes to their paycheck and how they're getting taxed 40% of their paycheck. And that's the biggest thing you need to do when you're talking about budgeting to get yourself out of financial struggle. And it's only $19.99. W4 Wealth Training. These 4 questions I'm going to ask you. Thank you for the digital love. Okay, yeah. We're going on vacation. These are the 4 questions I'm going to ask you for the W4 Wealth Training. And this is my 5th closing. Number one, I'm going to ask you, how many allowances are you claiming now? Just so you know. How many allowances are you claiming now on your W-4? So you can get an idea how much you're being taxed. Number two, how child dependence, right? Child dependence. How many child credits do you have? Okay, Ms. Easley, 5. How many child credits are you able to claim? Child credits are you able to claim? 3, do you have any dependents you can claim, right? Now, child exemptions means your children are 18 years or older, and a new W-4 that looks at your gross income, your gross income, and they're 18 years or older. For some people, for example, the child exemptions, you can claim as many as 4, right? It's 4 if you have children that qualify. Then the next thing I'll ask you is, do you file married, filing joint, separate, single, or head of household, right? And so, Ms. Inslee, for you, I don't know the gross income that your husband is bringing in, and he's claiming 5. But then we look at the second page of your W-4, where this is where employees only miss out. It's called adjustments, right? It's called, adjustments. So adjustments, this is just an impromptu video. I didn't know I was going to explain all this. Adjustments is what you get when you sign up for this financial literacy business that I'm in, which you need the business not only for the tax deduction to get more out of your paycheck, but you can understand how to keep more out of your paycheck. Okay, so you file married, filing separate, or joint. It's easily separate or joint. Okay, and so with your husband being on disability, do you even have a W-4? Which one of you are on a W-4 income? Which one of you have the job income? So your adjustments is what you pick up once you become part of a business owner. So let's say I'm dealing with a single person. You're single, you have no children, you have no child exemptions. You get you get 2 on your W-4. It said claim 1 for yourself and 1 for single. So everybody get 2. 2 is just a give me. 1 for yourself, 1 if you're single, married, whatever. Everybody's giving 2. But let's say you're single, you make $75,000 a year, you have no children, whatever. That means that person that makes $75,000 a year, no dependents, that they only have 2 to claim. So then when they enroll in the W-4 wealth training, they pay $19 and then $34 a month to continue to get the tax deductions and tax breaks. Okay, good. So Ms. Easy, you should already have it. So 5 might be your maximum that you can do. And you should be getting extra or additional tax breaks from your health and wellness business. So what this person would do, and this can fall anybody category, married, filing joint, married, separate, is they say, okay, if I enroll in the W-4 wealth training, I can get 3 more deductions or even 4 more. And now I can have 6 allowances, which allows me to bring home more money out of my paycheck, have tax, and then that person will have tax deductions in the form of mileage that they drive, utilities that they spend, cell phone is now a tax write-off, internet is now a tax write-off, square footage of their home or whatever they're renting is a tax deduction, right? So that's how my W-4 wealth training works. So, hey, now I'm signing off. Man, you all have a fantastic Friday. Go back and watch the beginning of this video if you want to watch how I read from my laptop the law on a federal court of how you never pay collections, right? I changed, it was like $50 per paycheck. How often do you get paid? Because let's say if you get paid once a week, $50 a paycheck is $200 a month, Ms. Inslee. Now, if you're getting paid once a month, and you're only getting $50 a paycheck, that's still a big thing, because now you still have business mile. You still have tax deduction. Okay, so that's $100 a month. And I don't know who did your W-4 training for you. I don't know if 5 is the best you could have claimed under your allowances. But there's still an extra $100 a month coming into your household that you didn't have, right? So you make some lifestyle changes. You look at what maybe some areas that you are overspending. And then at the end of the year, when you get your tax prepared to do your taxes, right? Rich people use a CPA. How to manage money like rich people do. They use CPAs, tax professionals, to do their taxes. Now you get your utilities for a tax write-off. You get your light bill, water bill, whatever, right? You get your mileage on your vehicle. Who wants to tag me in this video? I don't know. Let's see. I'm just playing around. You get your mileage on your vehicles for tax deduction. All of those things that you did not have had you not participated in this training. So now you save $100 a month out of your paycheck, more money, right? That's better than being $100 in the negative. We look at some ways that you can bring more money on, right? And now you get thousands more tax deductions at the end of the year, right? Because you do understand, employees, if you're just an employee, thank you for the digital love. Under Trump's new tax law, you only have 15 deductions that you can claim. But now you have over 475. More tax deduction mean more money. And you're still keeping more money out of your paycheck, right? Thank you for the digital love. And so that's it. Like I said, I would rather okay, thank you so much. Thank you. And so, yeah, I would rather have more money coming out of my paycheck and then the option at the end of the year to have more money in taxes than not have that option, right? And so, again, you learn your W-4 wealth training. Thank you for engaging. Thank you for asking questions. You get me to show you if you have, because I know people have medical collections out there, because, again, I think it's 1 out of 5 people are not going to their doctors a visit because they can't afford the medical bills. And I've disputed thousands of dollars saving people. Have you all, I want you to just close your eyes and imagine this. You were stressed out. You had a $10,000 collection or medical collection. You don't have the money. You don't know what you're going to do. You stumble across my information and my timeline, and I save you $10,000, $11,000. I have done that for many people because these people did not have this legal information in place. You joined in September last year and it works July of last year. Okay. So did it help you on your tax refund? So imagine if you're saving. Now, of course, you have to pay me for my services and my intellectual knowledge, but it's a much lesser expense than $11,000, $10,000, $12,000. My highest collection that I have done so far and saved was $13,000. $13,000 out of Arizona. But you know what this person did? I hope they watch this video. Somebody in the family had a collection from the same collection agency, and it was for a high amount. So they paid for me to dispute their collection for them, right? And then here for the collection agency again. They paid for me. It was $13,000. And they sent me a screenshot and say, hey, the collection agency is taking me to court. And I said, well, it doesn't have your name on it. This subpoena has somebody else's name on it. Who is this? Oh, that's my family member. I said, well, he's probably a subpoena to court because they didn't hire me to dispute the collection for them. You hired me, and now you don't have a letter from the collection agency subpoenaing you to court. So this person asked me, well, I need you to help them. What are they supposed to? I said, look, you paid me to help you. Then you came across as if what I did didn't work and tried to show me a subpoena from the same collection agency. But I don't know why you think I wasn't going to pay attention to the name and address. And it wasn't you. So you thought I was going to provide you information because you wanted made it seem like that my dispute or my challenge didn't work for you to help your cousin, right, with their court case. I said, but I don't work like that, and you just cut ties with me because I'm no longer going to allow you to email me anymore or to text me anymore. I saved you $13,000 and you still try to scam me. See, people, I always ask the question, oh, I've been burned. I've been working with this debt collection agency. I've been burnt too. Or, well, I've been attempted to be burnt. I say this person, $13,000 from a collection agency. And they tried to send me a screenshot of their cousin who got subpoenaed to court and wanted me to help their cousin get out of that. And they hadn't paid me for their cousin's services. And then the thing about it, when I say them, what they should have did is refer me to the cousin before it got subpoenaed. And this is another thing since we're on collections. I have people that I delete collections out their credit report, right? They'll get collections in the mail from other collections, knowing they have 30 days from other debt collectors. And I'll tell them, well, look, you're going to have to pay me to get you out of this $1,000 collection. I'm not doing this for no cost, right? Free doesn't work. And they won't pay me. They'll let the 30 days bypass. They'll let it lapse, right? 3 months later, they'll contact me. Hey, I got a collection on my credit report. I said, yeah, you do, because you wasn't proactive. When you got the letter in the mail, you put it aside and you didn't pay. You're going to get subpoenaed and it's going to hit your credit report. Now your credit report, because you got 2 collections, has dropped about 150 points. After I built it up just 3 months ago. What do you do? What do you do? You know, the people I work with is scammers too, because they don't pay their bills. So if you come to me and say, oh, I'm kind of skeptical about your credit services because I paid Lexington Law or Credit Code and they didn't do, I'm kind of skeptical about working with you too, because I see your credit report and I see you do not pay as agreed. Yeah. So you can very well put false information out there that, yeah, she put she billed my credit report to 700, and then it dropped back down to 600 because the collections came back. No, those were new collections, and you didn't want to pay me to dispute those for you. So a new collection company hit your credit report, and it dropped right back down. And that's why I keep records on file. That's why, I keep the case, because you know what? I just don't care about my name when it comes to me having a high credit score. I care, yeah, Ms. Dean, I care about my name when it comes to this social media platform. I don't want anybody to say the Queen of Credit didn't do what she was supposed to do. Because if you did, I promise you I have the documented proof to prove that it was more you and definitely not me. So it's best if these debt collectors are coming for you early before it hits your credit report, be proactive, because it's going to drop your credit score. This young man I was talking to last night, 2 new collections. He decided that he wanted to handle it his way. I logged on to his credit report. I said, man, I had just built you up to like a 640. He started in the low 500s. Dropped him right back to a 400 credit score. Because 2 new collections hit his credit report, dropped it 114 points. But the one thing I can say about him, he's young and he's learning. And sometimes there's 2 ways to learn. You have to learn from paid mistakes as well as experience. Me telling people sometimes it's just not enough. They have to experience that. You can ask my ex-husband. I tried to tell him. He said I was fussing, but hey, Now he's in a plummeted financial situation, and glory be to God, I'm in a higher. You know, I try to educate. You can say it's fussing, but I look at hundreds of credit reports a day. I deal with different people. I hear different people's story. But that's okay. This man is in his young 20s. He's learning young. I'd rather to deal with someone who's learning young than struggling still and you're older, right? I'd rather help people in the early stages. He's learning young. I hate to see his credit report drop to that, but, you know, there's still hope that he can, get it back up. There's still hope. He still have time, and he's learning. He's learning. Bad financial mistakes, the way I used to be treated. Yeah, so it comes with the territory. I'm not complaining. I'm just explaining. It's a difference. Comes with the territory, you know. You're going to have some people I've had some people, my credit clients for my daughter's graduation, sent her Cash App money. Sent her Cash App money and say, hey, this is just for your daughter's graduation. So I don't have all of those experiences all the time where people don't pay me. Actually, I've had more people that do pay than the ones that don't. But I will discuss the ones that don't to prevent it from happening in the future, right? 56, you're still young. You're still young. I don't even know what old is. I don't think age is a dictator of how. I think you get up, you're healthy, you're happy, you're feeling good, you're taking care of your health, then what age is nothing but a number. So, hey, I have more clients who is so positive, I promise you. Thank you for the digital love, the negative. But I do want to tell the story of the bad experiences as well, because it all comes with the territory. And if you don't put it out there, it's likely to reoccur again. So, hey, this is it. This is your Financial Freedom Friday. Go back, watch the beginning of this. I share the law, black and white, of how you pay debt collectors nothing. And you can get out of that stress. I talked about how to pay your mortgage off in 5 to 7 years. And I also discussed why credit card debt is the least amount of stress debt that you should ever worry about, and why student loan debt is more scarier than credit card debt. So, hey, this is Queen of Credit. I'm signing off. Have a Financial Freedom Friday.